Okay, so here we've got 3/7 added to 2/7. And as long as you remember that when you add and subtract fractions, where the denominator is the same, then it's not going to change. So that's like having 3/7 and adding 2/7. Well, the question is, in effect, how many sevenths have you got? Well, that's just 3 add 2 to give you 5, but you've still got 5/7. You haven't got 5/14. Now, the same thing applies when you're taking away. If you've got 7/8 of something and you take away 3/8, then the question is, in effect, how many eighths have you got? So you've got 4/8. Now, the only thing with this one is that this can be simplified because there's numbers that go into 4 and 8. You could either half them both here or realise that 4 goes into both of these. How many 4s go into 4 is 1, and how many 4s go into 8? Eventually, you should be getting down to a half for that one. Now, with this one, they haven't got the same denominator, so I definitely can't just add them together as they are. And you can only add and subtract fractions when the denominator is the same. So I've got to make these denominators the same. So fortunately here I can turn 4 into 8. So I'm just going to rewrite this fraction as something over 8 and leave this one as it is, which is why I'm circling it. So I'm going to go and change this fraction here. I'm going to make it something over 8. Now, to do that, I've just times it by 2. So if I times the top by 2 as well, that will give me 2 over 8. So now when I next come to do the question, instead of doing 1 over 4, I'm going to do 2 over 8. And I'm going to add that to this 3 over 8 that I've not changed. And if you remember from before, that's like saying, how many eighths have I got? If I do 2/8, add 3/8, well, I've got 5/8. Same thing with subtraction. Again, I can't add and subtract these at the moment because the denominator is not the same, but I can quite easily turn 6 into 12. So I'm going to fix this one, and then I'm just going to change this other one here. So 5 over 6, I'm going to make something out of 12. So again, that's times by 2, because 6 times by 2 gives me 12. So if I times the top by 2, I get 10. So now when I come to this question, instead of 5 over 6, I'm going to write 10 over 12. And I'm subtracting from that 7 over 12. Now remember, that's going to be something over 12. 10 take away 7 is 3 over 12. Make sure you check in to see if they simplify. This one doesn't, but this one does, because 3 goes into both of these. How many 3's go into 3 is 1. How many 3's go into 12 is 4. And again, this time I can't just change 3 into 4 though, or the other way around. So I've got to find a number that they both go into. Now 3 and 4, if you go through your times tables, the first number they both go into is 12. So I'm going to change 2 over 3 into something over 12. And I'm also going to change 3 over 4 into something over 12. So to change this one, I've times the bottom part by 4. So if I do the same to the top, that will give me 8 over 12. And here I've times the bottom part by 3. So if I do the same to the top, I will get 9 over 12. So now instead of that, I'm using this, and instead of that, I'm using this. So I've now got 8/12, add 9/12, so I can add these two together. So that's going to be still over 12, and 8 add 9 is 17 over 12, which looks a bit weird because it's an improper fraction. The top is bigger than the bottom. So in an ideal world, we should convert this back to a mixed number. So be thinking, how many whole ones is this? How many 12s go into 17? So we've got one whole one. But then we've also got 5 left to get from 12 up to 17. So we've got 1 and 5/12. With this one, we need to find again a number that 7 and 5 go into. I can't turn 5 into 7 or the other way around. And if you go through your 7 times tables and your 5 times tables, you'll find the first time we get a number that goes into both is 35. So I'm going to rewrite both of these as something over 35. So I've multiplied the bottom of this fraction by 5. So if I do the same to the top, I get 30. And I've multiplied the bottom of this one by 7. So if I do the same to the top, I will get 21. Now remember, we're subtracting here. So we've got 30 over 35, which is what I changed this into. And then we've got 21 over 35. So 30 take away 21 gives me 9 over 35. And I can't simplify that, so we're finished with that one. Okay, so here we've got some mixed numbers involved. So that's 1 and 1/3 added to 2 and 5/8. Now the quickest and easiest way of doing this is always to just sort the whole numbers out first. So, well, I know in here I've got 1 add 2. So I'm just going to ignore that, and I'm going to store it over here. And I know 1 add 2 is 3. So I'm just going to forget about that for a minute. And we'll just sort out this 1/3 plus 5/8. And what numbers do 3 and 8 both go into? The first time that they go into anything together will be at 24. So I'm just going to have to change both of them into a fraction over 24. Give myself a bit more space than that. So I've had to multiply the bottom of this by 8. So if I do the same to the top, I will get 8. And I've had to multiply the bottom of this by 3. So if I do the same to the top, that will give me 15. So now when I come to put these two together, I've got 8 over 15. No, I haven't. I've got 8 over 24 added to 15 over 24, which will still be over 24. And 8 over 15 is 23. I'm now just going to recall up this 3 that I got from adding the whole number part together. So I've actually got 3 whole ones, and I've got 23 over 24. Same rules apply for subtraction. So 4 take away 1, I can sort out and do it somewhere else, store it away. 4 take away 1 will give me 3. And then I'm just going to deal with the fraction part. 4/5 take away 2/3. Well, I can't do it at the moment. I can't turn 3 into 5. So the lowest number that 3 and 5 both go into is 15. So 4 over 5 is going to become something out of 15. And 2 over 3 is going to become something out of 15. Now I've times that by 3. So if I do the same to the top, that will give me 12. And I've times this one by 5. So if I do the same there, that will give me 10. Remember, we're subtracting, so I'm going to have 12/15, which is what 4/5 was, minus 10/15, which is what 2/3 was. So 12 take away 10 gives me 2. Of course, it's still over 15. And I'm just going to bring in the whole number answer from the 4 take away 1 part. So I've got 3 and I've got 2/15.